Wake up, get food, your room's a mess. You turn on the TV and find that the love of your life is dead. This is the opening sequence of Tokyo Revengers, one of the best anime of 2021. Ranked in the top 1% of animes ever made, with a following of nearly 1 million people. Why is it that everywhere you look, you see the internet hates many things. That's nothing new. For every group of devoted fans of a series, you'll find a smaller, sweatier group of haters, probably at McDonald's playing Dungeons & Dragons. But what is new is that in the recent history of anime, never has such a well-regarded mainstream title been this polarizing. Here's Attack on Titan. Here's Tokyo Revengers. So why is Tokyo Revengers so divisive? What's the reason behind all this hate? It's this guy. Mostly this guy. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. You turn off the TV and your heart swells with despair. The only woman who ever cared about you, the only woman who ever touched you, is gone. What do? The only thing you can do, go to work. On your shitty commute to your shitty job, you contemplate your shitty life. And as you stare off into space by the train tracks, drowning in your own thoughts, a hand reaches out and... well, you're dead. Except, instead of joining your ex-girlfriend who's now ex-alive up in the great blue yonder, you go back in time 12 years to where it all began. Tokyo Revengers is fantastic because it's a story about a washed-up delinquent, saddled with regret, getting another shot at life. I love these kinds of stories. There's something about a determined main character grabbing fate by the cojones, pushing through the pain and turning his life around that just speaks to me. And I bet it does to you too. And that's exactly why this anime boasts a highly respectable MAL score of 8.1 with over 500,000 votes. For those of you who aren't weebs, that's a big deal. But then I watched episode 2. You probably already know this, but our main guy Takemichi is kind of a loser. That's his name, by the way. Takemichi's been a loser all his life, and going back in time isn't going to magically change that. If you're a loser at 14 and you're still a loser at 26, becoming your 14-year-old self again isn't going to make you less of a loser. Unless, of course, you get to keep your 26-year-old memories and buy Bitcoin. Use what you know about the future to give yourself an unfair advantage. But Takemichi doesn't do that, no. Instead, he gets caught up in dumb high schooler shit, takes beating after beating, and constantly gets outsmarted by the other snot-nosed 14-year-old kids on the playground. Like, come on man, you're 26. And this results in 24 episodes of pure, unadulterated pain. There was one word that kept popping into my head as I sat through the agony of watching Takemichi scramble and cry big baby tears episode after episode. Incompetence. Takemichi is very incompetent, and I think people realize that. Every 3 out of 4 reviews I read online calls him out precisely for his takebichi behavior. You compare Tokyo Revengers to other shonen animes you know and love like Naruto or Boku no Hero, and you notice that even though the main characters start off lame and pathetic, just like Takemichi, they grow on us. And suddenly, we're hanging up posters and buying body pillows. What went wrong for Tokyo Revengers? Why does no one like Takemichi? He's great main character material on paper, he's got a praiseworthy sense of responsibility, a noble goal worth striving for, and he never backs down in the face of adversity. So it's almost unfair that the other shonen protags with the same exact traits do so much better in the polls, right? This is a fight club. Shh, we're not supposed to talk about that. In episode 2 of Tokyo Revengers, our hero finds himself in the center of a fighting ring, just like the gladiators did in ancient colosseums, and opposing him, a worthy challenger. It's clear what's about to go down. The bloodthirsty roar of the crowd invigorates our fighters. Adrenaline starts pumping, the smell of pure testosterone and piss fills the air. It's showtime. His unsuspecting opponent lunges in for a quick right-hand jab. Takemichi, who's seen this move hundreds of times, easily reads this and skillfully counters by turning his back and whipping out his phone? Okay, Maybe he's a little rusty from all the time traveling. Surely next time... Yeah, no, it doesn't get better. Unlike the main characters from any other shonen anime, Takemichi never powers up. He's miserably weak from the first episode all the way to the last. I know this for a fact, and I dropped the series at episode 10, but that's not why people hate him. There's been plenty of physically weak anime protagonists we still love and respect. People hate him because he stays weak. Watching Takemichi is like playing a PS2 game without the memory card. Dude's progress doesn't save. Takemichi never gets stronger physically, nor does he ever get stronger tactically. He just brute forces his way through the anime, catching fists with his face. What I'm trying to say is, Takemichi is horribly incompetent. The more you do something, the better you get. The most painful lessons in life are the ones that teach you the most. That's true for most of us. But not for Takemichi, because even after and during beating after beating, taking L after L, he has absolutely nothing to show for it. It feels like every time he learns something new in the anime, he gets smacked in the head so hard he forgets it by the next episode. Back to square one. This is true incompetence. Human beings don't like incompetence, and that realization scares the shit out of me. Because if I'm being honest, I feel that sometimes. As a weeb, I see fragments of myself in Takemichi. Not because my girlfriend's dead. I mean, how can something die if it never existed? But because sometimes I'm a big fucking baby too. I don't have all the answers, and I don't necessarily know what I'm doing all the time. I make YouTube videos about anime for God's sake. Yet, when I look around me, everyone seems to have their shit together. I love Tokyo Revengers, not because of its amazing storyline, memorable characters, or jaw-dropping animation style. It has none of those. I appreciate it because it's a painful reminder of what my life could be like if I stopped trying. It taught me to lose, but to carry the lessons from that loss with me into the future. To constantly strive to improve, even if it's just one teeny tiny little bit at a time. Takemichi is a big bitch. His progress doesn't save, but that doesn't have to be you.